Hi, Nancy Burt-Preece here, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be yours. Today, I am casing a design from Kelly Acheson, and I am making two different cards out of it. When I come to my class in October, some people really like to send Halloween cards, and it's just cute on the inside. This is a direct case of a design from Kelly. This is my own design based on that, using more of a holiday theme. So if you come to class, you get to choose which one you want to make. They're both made very similarly. So let's start out with the Halloween one. You're going to have your 8.5 by 5.5 base scored at 4 1/4. You'll have a strip of designer series paper, 1.5 by 5.5. You're going to have your cardstock square, your DSP square, and I already said the DSP strip. And you'll have an inside white, which I already stamped. So I can go ahead. I stamped the bats in black and Happy Halloween. I went ahead and stamped that in the pumpkin pie. So that part is really easy. Just a white 4 by 5 1/4, your basic inside white. Now for the outside, I am using, for this card, the Spooky Halloween stamp set and dies. And I'm going to start, oops, as I drop that, I'm going to start with basic gray. And I'm going to go ahead and just add some interesting little details. Just adds a little bit. You could add that on the inside too if you chose. Just a little bit of a detail there in the basic gray. Then I have some of the designer series paper from that set. So I'm going to start with my strip now that I've got this stamped. And if you wanted to, I'm going to leave some of that because it's going to be covered up. But you could stamp more. It's totally a personal preference. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and do my black square and my designer series paper, which is from that Spooky Halloween suite, which is really cute. And I'm going to put that on a little bit of a kilter there, just a little bit. I debated having the person, I have an angel, you know, that cuts things out. I think this is almost easier to add a little bit of glue. I'm getting low on this glue. That's why it's not coming out as quick as I want it to put a little bit of glue on this, then try to peel it off with an adhesive sheet. So I am not making this a sticker. Those of you that know me, I love to make stickers, but that one I'm not. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right there. This is an exact case of her card, which I thought was really cute. So I'm going to go ahead and add my little bats. You can have your bats going any way you want. I love that the die cuts out some details on the bat, which is really cool. And did you notice I just dropped the bat on the floor? This is going to be a banner day. So when I find it, I'll put another bat just like that. And it even has glue on it. That's even more exciting. Oh, I found it. I moved my foot. Okay. Those of you that know me are probably laughing. Okay. Now, I went ahead and stamped this little Halloween treat, and I'm going to color it orange with a dark pumpkin pie. It's so easy, isn't it? And I'm just going to pop it up. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to do the house. So the rest, so far you're like, oh, it's an easy card. And it really is. It's not a hard card to create. The next part is a little fussy. I've tried different ways, watched different videos on how to put the yellow behind the house. So this is kind of what I've decided. If you have a better idea, please share it. Oops. Here we go. Oh, that's why. There we go. I'm just going to kind of pop that up. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece of cardstock in the daffodil, and I'm going to make sure it just comes up this far. And then what I did, and the cardstock width is 1 5/8. Then I'm going to come back. So that part is easy. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back with my scissors. Now, could you do 2 different cardstocks and have like one down here? But it's hard because you got that little window. So I'm going to put this here because our goal is not, this is on the back of the card. We don't want the yellow showing outside of the black. I'm just going to I kind of did all of that a little bit already. We don't want the yellow showing. I just kind of set it on the back and figured out kind of where I wanted it to go. Then when you turn it over, now see this needs to be shaped. And if it looks yucky on the back side, it's really okay because nobody's going to see it. See if I did a better job this time. Oops. Of cutting that. Yeah. So I'll give you like a rectangle, and I would have you just put it on the back and cut around it. So I hope that makes sense. That's how I would do it. You could have a little tiny piece up here. You could have a little piece. You could have lots of different pieces. I just found that that's a lot to glue on there, and I thought it was easier to just have a larger piece and just cut around it. That's my suggestion. That is a personal preference. So here we go. I'm going to just make sure that's lined up towards the bottom. Move it over a little bit. And that's the beauty. You can move it over with the green glue. I would definitely use green glue on this one. Move it over just a little. Now, it looks kind of weird on the back because you can see I cut in and then I didn't need to. But it looks great from the front. And that's what people look at. So I'm going to put some pop-ups on here. You can use as many as you want. I'm probably going to put a little one on the top here. And we have our house popped up. The next thing we're going to do, I see I got some glue on there. I'll come back through and get that off a little bit with my gum eraser. Okay. The next thing we're going to do for this card is it comes with these fun little stars. And I thought, oh golly, we got to use these. So I just kind of put a couple of stars around. And you can decide how you want them to be. And it's just, I might even put one down here this time. Isn't that the cutest card designed by Kelly Acheson? So now I wanted to replicate it using, let me get the right things out here. I wanted to use a snowflake. Snowflake Kisses and Snowy Delights. I'm using the Snowflakes Kisses bundle, but just the Snowy Delights because I really like that little snowflake there. So I'm going to move this over. Keep saying the word so really lightly. Here's what I'm going to recommend my classes. Stamp the inside first, because if you boof it around, you can just put paper on there and cover it up. I will always have extras, but stamp the inside first. It'll make your life easier. I will have some extra card bases in case we do have some problems. And the other thing is, if you make a mistake, I will also have some white inside 4 by 5 1/4. You can stamp on that. So there's lots of ways. If you make mistakes like I do quite frequently, there's a way to correct it. I love this sentiment. If kisses were snowflakes, I'd send you a blizzard. Isn't that just the cutest little saying? I really like it. Now I'm going to come back and do down in the card, just add some detail. Oops, you can see I stamped right on there. Can be any way you want it to be. Doesn't have to be perfect, can be different. So now I have my inside and my outside, and I'm ready to go. I'm going to adhere my 1.5 strip by 5.5. This is out of the Delicate Pines Designer Series paper. So I'm using a couple of different things. And I can see that I might have cut that one a little bit small. So let's say you cut that a little small and you're like, I don't like that. Here's a little tip. And hopefully for your cards, I won't cut it small, but just in case I do, take your paper trimmer just a teeny tiny bit. I might have to put a little bit more. I mean, I'm talking teeny tiny. Nope, got to go a little bit more. And just trim it off. And it will look just great. You're trimming off such a tiny amount that nobody is really going to notice it. And it might make you happier because it's all going to be the right size. So that's a little tip if that ever happens. I got to make sure I got that now folded correctly. Come on, fold up. There we go. Now, the next thing we're going to do is add our cardstock square to our card base. And I kind of put it on a tilt, just like I did on the other card. Now, this is from the Snowflake Kisses dies. I don't know if you can see it, but these are little snowflakes that come around. And I see I have one that didn't come out completely. Is that not adorable? I mean, that is so cute. I really think those are adorable. Makes it a special little circle. So I'm going to pop up the circle. That's what I did last time. So I'm going to try to do the same thing and put it in that square. Then I'm going to take the next one. Now, these will be made as stickers for you because I have a wonderful person that is going to be cutting them out. She's pretty amazing, my Stampin' Angel. So those will be stickers. And I realize I didn't cut out one more. This is, so what are the colors? That is Shaded Spruce. And this is Lost Lagoon. And then I'm using some of the silver foil because it just seemed like it needed a little bit of a pop there. I'm going to get some of my snowflakes out of here. And I'm going to just cut out one more because it just needs one, like, small one. And I'll show you how I was thinking as I was replicating this. It is not a perfect replication, but it's close. I'm using it as a guideline, and because I really like the way that sketch works. And sometimes I don't do enough with sketches. So here, and I even have some bonus ones too if I wanted to use them for another project. So I'm going to set that there. And I'm going to punch out. Now, when you're punching these out, most generally all the little parts come out, but sometimes they don't. Now, let me give you a hint. If it's a sticker, which I did not make for myself, but if it's a sticker, when you pull the back of the sticker off, normally the little tiny pieces come off too, which is another reason that I try to have stickers for you, because it just makes it easier with your not having so much glue. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put that right there. Then, oops, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this one. I'm going to add a little bit, another couple Lost Lagoon. I love these colors. They're just really pretty and fun for holiday or winter. I mean, you know, I live in a place where it's winter for a long time, so it's always good to have some winter stuff. There we go. The last thing I'm going to do is this set also comes with some faceted snowflakes. I just felt like it needed one of these pretty peacock ones right in the middle. But of course, this is your card. So if you decide you want to use a red one, whatever you want to do with it, it's totally fine. So let me put the cards next to each other, and you can see how you can take one sketch and make different cards for different seasons. Isn't that a fun sketch? So I hope you try. I'm going to move these down so you can see them. I hope you try this sketch and have a great day.